Old Mutual was founded in 1845 in Cape Town, is a global long-term savings, insurance and investment group.
Right, but under the organisation of Bruce Hemphill, the new CEO, well, I suppose he's been there for about 18 months, they've decisively moved to indicate a unbundling and separation of their various parts, including the London assets. We'll get into those details.
Market cap here, 173 billion rand. Price to earnings ratio, 16.5, dividend yield of 5.3%. Share price graph will give us a good starting point for our discussion further. And I suppose there you can see the slacking off, and then perhaps now we're going to see a leveling out of that share price. Matthew, can you weigh in?
Yeah, I think if one looks at the chart, the market got quite excited about the reorganisation. What that chart also shows you is the rand strength, has certainly weighed on the share price performance. But if you take, the market's actually ignoring the underlying fundamentals of the business and purely focusing on how much value is going to be unlocked. So into results, we should see some more information about the managed separation. I think a big catalyst will be the UK wealth business. Nedbank's actually the best performing bank in our market this year. So I think things are looking up for Mutual. There is value to be unlocked. It's all about the timing of that.
Paul, have we been a holder of Old Mutual at any stage?
Maybe like yonks ago, we might have gambled on the recovery from the crisis when they were a penny stock.
Look, I tell you what, we should have bought them at 4.30.
Yes, you remember then, that was like in 2008. Look, the four pieces are the local life insurer, emerging markets business, got some West African and East African assets. That looks pretty good, pretty profitable, remains ongoing. Nedbank, which Matthew's mentioned already, good results, but that EcoBank write-down was a bit of an embarrassment.
Nedbank was yesterday.
Internationally, they've got the wealth business in the UK, which I think they're hoping to sell to someone or maybe unbundle or distribute there. And then there's the Old Mutual asset management business in New York, where they've already made some progress selling it down. The problem is, I think, as Matthew said, the expectation was that this would be done within 3 months. But now it seems to be going on. A managed separation, that sounds like that celebrity and her wife, the musician, like they were going to have a managed separation.
I can't quite remember the term, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Gwyneth Paltrow and
Chris Martin.
We'll come up with a term by the end of the show, I'm sure. But one change here in the emerging market fold, Ralph Mapita going to MTN, taking up the finance director position. And he was really one of the key management players within the Old Mutual fold.
I think if one has a look, although it was a loss, that business is so big, and the Old Mutual brand is just such a long-standing brand that I think the business will continue as usual, with or without him, unfortunately.
Look, you guys have got an office in London, so tell me this. Does the UK base of the business, and particularly that wealth business in the UK that they accumulated over the years, is there a Brexit potential delay, uncertainty that's preventing, for example, a trade buyer taking that operation from them?
I think without a doubt people will be pretty hesitant. We're looking at triggering Article 50 shortly. So I think people will be hesitant, and maybe you can get it cheaper if there's some correction. Private equity, people have been surprised by the prices paid by private equity, so there may be an upside surprise there. And then also, Steve Broado's come in there to shake things up and get it right. And in our view, he's a great operator, so there might be some interesting things coming out of that business.
Steve Broado, where was he before?
Ex-Liberty.
Liberty guy, yes. So he's gone to run the wealth business in the UK.
Yeah, I think he's Bruce's sorting out guy, and he was under Bruce at Liberty. He would have been under
Bruce at Liberty.
Yeah.
Let's call this one hot or not.
I'll call it a hot.
You're hot on Old Mutual. Are you hot or not?
I'm going to say not hot. I'm a bit grumpy about the fact that it's taken as long as it has, and I'm a bit anxious about the whole sector, to be honest, given some of the noises. So I'm going to be a bit of a grump today.